secondary art students. I wanted to wish everyone a happy Easter. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend with their family. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
All right, so this is this week's creative warm-up for Monday, April the 13th. But before we get started on our creative warm-up, there's a couple things I want to remind everyone of. There seems to be some miscommunication, so I want to make sure everyone's very aware. Every Monday we'll do creative warm-up, but immediately after the creative warm-up, you need to go find the video for your class for the week, because I make a video for each class about what you are to be working on throughout the week for your art class. For 7 and 8 art, that is the Albrecht Dürer Creative Notes. For Intro to Art, you are just starting a grid drawing. You're in the very beginning stages of that. Intermediate art, you are in the middle of a grid drawing or towards the end, depending on how quickly you're working. Advanced art, you're working on individual independent projects. And all of my classes need to be sending me a picture of your progress on those projects. So don't forget to do that by Friday. That is the bulk of your grade. We also have an art history lesson every Wednesday, and there's 3 questions to be answered for that. So it should go creative warm-up, then watch your class video for the week. Wednesday is the short art history lesson, and by Friday I check the progress on your class assignment. So be sure to send me those images of how far you're coming along. Some people I have not heard from at all yet on that. So make sure you're doing things beyond the creative warm-up at the beginning of the week. If you have any questions, please just ask me. Also, if the LMS is not working for whatever reason, you can't submit something, or the chat function is not functioning, use my email. Okay, send me an email or turn something in by email, please. All right, so let's get to our creative warm-up. It's supposed to be raining today, so we're going to do something indoors. We are going to make some origami, and we are going to do the origami jumping frog. Usually they jump pretty well. So it depends on the paper you have. So I'm trying to figure out what around the house I can use for this. So we've made several origami jumping frogs to determine what might be the best paper to use. I'm going to be using a piece of construction paper in my demonstration today. It's a little thicker than real origami paper, so I'm cutting it in half. I'd like you to start with a square. Traditional origami paper is 6 by 6, but that's a little small for the demonstration, and for some people it's a little small to work with. So maybe go with a 7 by 7 or an 8 by 8, and cut it in half if it's a piece of construction paper. Regular copy paper you can decorate. Usually origami paper has a design on it. You can decorate that with some markers if you want. Plain copy paper would work well for this. I also experimented a little with wrapping paper, and this wrapping paper already has a grid on the back, so you can make sure you get it exactly correct size. This one's pretty thin though. Thicker paper sometimes works a little better, but this one didn't have a grid, so it made it kind of tough. I liked how the construction paper worked so long as I worked with half a sheet instead of a whole sheet. So this was a 9 by 9 that I cut in half. Construction paper comes 9 by 12 standard usually, so I just used the 9 inches that was already there and did 4.5 inches wide. So I'm going with half a sheet for this. If you go with a full sheet of 7 by 7 or 8 by 8, make sure you fold it in half for the project, so you end up with this kind of long rectangle. I've seen this done with a nice crisp dollar bill. If you have that, by all means, go ahead. So I'm going to show you how to make the origami jumping frog. Okay, so to do the origami jumping frog, I have a 4.5 inch by 9 inch piece of construction paper, and I'm going to fold one corner down You always want to make sure you make nice, crisp folds when you fold your paper, and always go edge to edge. So I'm going to fold that, crease it, and open it back up, and I'm going to do the same to the other side. If I ever go too quickly, you can pause the video. Make a crease again and open it up, and I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. Open it up. Open it up. Then I'm going to take my two sides and kind of fold them in on themselves and make a triangle. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing again. I'm going to fold my sides in. Okay, then I'm going to take this triangle and fold it straight up to the top. And take this one and fold it straight up to the top. Do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so it should look like this. Then I'm going to come down with this and come all the way to this edge, like that. And I'm going to come down on this side, same thing. Do the same to the other side. Construction paper isn't super origami friendly, but this shows the folds the best. Okay, so this is what it should look like. I'm going to flip it over like this. I'm going to take this triangle and fold it up. And then I'm going to take this side and fold it over like this, down from the top. And same thing to the other side. Make a nice crease. Okay, then I'm going to kind of bend it at the waist of our frog. And then I'm going to kind of fold it back on itself just a little bit. Let me do that again so you can kind of see folding it back on itself. And it doesn't jump very well, but that's your frog. That's your creative warm-up for Monday, April the 13th. And I just have one more announcement I need to say. This week's art history is going to be a repeat from last week because it didn't post for all my classes. It only posted actually for one class. So several people turned it in already. Maddie Kiker, Sophie Thomas, Sam McAllister, Sydney Turbyfield, Tyner, Maria, and Emily Barnett out of that one class. You're off the hook for art history for this week because you already turned it in. But it is on Rembrandt and this idea of chiaroscuro. I had several people ask me about question number 2, which is why is art from the Baroque period considered part of the Golden Age? It has to do, your hint is it has to do with this idea of light and darkness, especially the light portion. I want you to use your brain, not just regurgitate something you hear on the video. Think, okay, how to answer that question. So this week's art history is on Rembrandt. It should already be posted for you. That is for Wednesday, but it won't be due till Friday. Also, right after this video, please watch your class video so you know what to be working on for it when I check on Friday. So hope everyone had a great Easter weekend with their family, and let's enjoy this third week of quarantine and art online. Thanks.